This is a program for the general information of all our listeners and viewers from various communities all over the world. But for your special situation or specific situation in immigration, it's always best to consult with Attorney Jack Golan for free consultation. His telephone number is 213-383-3222 and his address is 3250 Wilshire Blvd, Suite 1918 in Los Angeles, California. Zip code is 90010. Now, for this particular segment, we will try to talk about tourist visa because I know a lot of people have been asking this, especially when it's, vacation months. And also fiancé visa, and we'll try to talk about investor's visa. Hopefully, we'll be able to tackle all these. Attorney Jack Golan, now, there are many people who say that they would like to come here for a vacation, but actually have other intentions as well. So would it be best for them to say that they're actually here to explore some business opportunities or just say that they're just traveling around?
The American Consul in all countries, doesn't matter, the Philippines or England, is required to consider, first of all, one question. Will this person come back? If I give this person, an immigrant, a tourist visa, will he or she come back to the home country? Now, this is a major consideration of the American Consul. Now, if somebody says that he's going to the United States to explore business opportunities, the consul must be convinced that this person will come back. So if this person is a businessman in the Philippines and can show the type of business and the scope, the size of the business, and it makes sense that he is going to the U.S. To consider some business issues, business opportunities in connection with his or her business in the Philippines, then he could get a visitor's visa. But if this person does not have a business in the Philippines, then going to the U.S. to explore business opportunities will probably result in a denial of the tourist visa.
Mm-hmm. Is it now a general rule, Attorney Golan, that tourists that come to the United States are given 6 months to stay here?
Yes, this has been the rule for many years. The immigration officer at the port of entry may still ask you for how long do you come, and you say, I came for the wedding of my niece. And how long do you want to stay? You say 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you will still get 6 months. If you say I came just for vacation and I intend to go to Disneyland and see Niagara Falls, how long do you want to stay? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you'll still get 6 months. The reason is that the Immigration Service does not want you to apply for an extension. Because many people are afraid that if they give a decent amount of time at the airport, and they will not be permitted to enter. So they say we come for 1 week, for 2 weeks. And then immediately they apply for an extension and overburden the Immigration Service. So everybody gets six months at the entry. And then if you try to apply for an extension, you'll have a very tough job convince the Immigration Service that 6 months was not enough for you to be a tourist.
Mm-hmm. We have two very interesting questions with regards to a tourist visa holder who has entered the United States and has, fallen in love, she said, and now would like to marry.
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes.
What?
A tourist visa holder who is now in the United States and says that she has fallen in love with someone who is a green card holder and they would like to marry. Will she be able to stay here until after she gets married and stay here and have a temporary green card?
No. Look, here comes the difference between what the law requires and what happens in real life. If this lady marries a green card holder, she will probably become out of status her visa will expire and she will stay here illegally until her husband becomes an American citizen, at which time she will be able to apply for a green card, and at which time the Immigration Service will forgive her illegal stay. So what it really means is that she is not supposed to stay. She can get married and go back to the Philippines, and her husband can file a petition for her, and one day she will be called to the American Consulate in Manila to get her green card, or this is what she's legally required to do. But if she doesn't do it and stays here and he becomes a citizen, then she will get her green card here, and all sins will be forgiven. So there's a difference between what the law requires and what really happens.
So, Attorney Golan, if an individual arrives here as a tourist visa holder and marries a citizen, then it would be a different story.
If he or she marries an American citizen, they may apply for a green card of what we call adjustment of status immediately after they get married, and he or she will probably get a green card within a few months.
I see. Well, that's the answer for this lady who just called. And now I have another question from someone who actually was petitioned as a fiancée. So she came to the United States and discovered that the guy who petitioned her, well, was not really how she expected him to be. So she decided to leave that place, and then she came to California. Now she's in California, and she's actually living with relatives and working as a caregiver. Now she would like to know what happens to her status. She was supposed to have been married, but can she marry somebody else?
She can marry somebody else. However, she cannot get a green card while she is in the U.S. She will be required to leave the U.S. and go for a consular interview in Manila, I suppose. This is a very difficult situation because her lengthy stay here will impose on her some very bad delay in the Philippines. She would be required, if she wants to shorten the delay, she would be required to apply for certain waivers before she leaves. So all this is possible, but for somebody who comes here on a fiancé visa and does not marry the petitioner, this person has a very difficult situation to deal with. I understand, I guess, that her mind is made up to stay. Immigration will not chase her because immigration has more important work to do, but she must realize that that becoming legal will be a very difficult process. Of course, she can get married, she can raise a family, but becoming legal will be a very long and difficult procedure.
Wow. Well, I advise those people who are listening and with specific immigration situations to please call Attorney Jack Golan. That's 213-383-3222. Before we leave this topic, there's a question from someone who is actually a U.S. citizen. Now, she's divorced, but the former husband, had requested her to file a petition for him. Can she do that even though she's already divorced from him, or does she have to marry him again and file a petition?
Of course, she cannot file a petition for somebody who is not her husband. And if they are divorced, he is not her husband. If they get remarried, she can file a petition for him. However, the petition will be subject to the same requirement as any petition, as any marriage case. Immigration will be very suspicious, and it will be necessary to convince the Immigration Service that this is a real marriage and not just an arrangement to help somebody to get a green card. Mm-hmm. So they, not only she, they must be ready, especially she, to the fact that it might be a long procedure involved with home visits by the immigration service and maybe more than one interview. So it is possible if it is for real. If it is not for real, don't do it.
There you are. You've heard from Attorney Jack Golan of POPKIN, SHAMIR, and Golan Law Offices. And telephone number to call is 213-383-3222. The address is 3250 Wilshire Blvd, Suite 1918, Los Angeles, California, 90010. We'll be talking about immigration once again with the next segment. Thanks so much for listening.